Welcome to the Empower Hour, another impactful topic of discussion we are here to talk to you about. We do this each and every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. My name is Al-Qamar.
And I am Hanifah.
And it's just us today.
Yes.
Normally we have special guests in the come and share with us, but today it's Hanifah and I talking to you about the hot topics in the news. So,
lots of hot topics.
Lots of hot topics.
I know we are not going to be covering every single one.
I know.
But there are some that they're standing out from the others, and I'm sure we're going to cover those.
Yeah, and things have been heating up the past 24 hours, too.
Right along with the weather.
Exactly.
Because it's nice and warm today.
Right.
Yes.
So family, if you guys have something on your mind that you wanted to talk to us about that's currently going on, trending in the news, give us a call here at 240-455-5934. If you're in Facebook land or Instagram land, you can always shoot your questions or comments right out on the stream and we'll give them to you. Well, we should say Facebook is Instagram. We don't quite have that capability just yet. But, okay, you want to get us started?
How are you today, Al-Qamar?
Oh, I'm good. It's a nice day out.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day. Any day that the sun is kissing on us, giving us warm kisses, I'm for it.
Yeah, the weather's finally
beautiful.
broke in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area.
Yeah, the flip-flops are out. And
Yeah.
all the other things are out. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah. So let's talk about hot topics today.
Okay.
There's a lot. We have Bill Cosby. We have Kanye West. That's trending right now. We have
all these boycotts going
all
on.
these Starbucks boycotts, different boycotts.
Waffle House.
It seems like every time you turn around, there's a new one.
Yeah.
But let me see on my list. Let's see what I would like to start with. Actually, I have on my list. This is it's not as new or as recent as the others, but I kind of wanted to touch on the Stephon Clark.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because that was a hot topic, but we
got over that real fast and went on to the next hot thing.
yeah. So I don't know, you and I had a very brief conversation about it, but about Stephon Clark, pretty much, he was shot, probably about 22 years old, shot multiple times, actually, probably about 8 to 10 times in the back, in his grandmother's yard.
Right.
And I think they were saying that he broke into a car or something like that, but it didn't justify how they gunned him down, pretty much. And so one of the things that ended up happening is that we were talking about Stephon Clark, and somehow the conversation was derailed. I'm going to say derailed because we're talking about police brutality, and somehow that conversation shifted because a lot of our sisters rose up and said, hey, there's some tweets out there and some video of him bashing black women, and we don't think that we should have to stand for this particular person. And not only was he saying some really demeaning and disgusting things about black women, he was also encouraging his Asian partner, mother of his children, to do the same. And I struggled with that, and we talked about it. I struggled with that because at the end of the day, I felt like that is a slippery slope.
Yes.
Because once we start nitpicking, this person qualifies, meets all the qualifications, whatever those are, to being black enough for us to march for them. That's a slippery slope to me, because I feel like, because all of us are constantly evolving, anyone could find anything and twist it, or they didn't have to twist it for Stephon, because it was clear that he just did not like black women. He didn't like us. He wasn't rolling with us. He didn't have our back. But I'm just like, you could find just about anything and that will raise an eyebrow or question. Or how about people who maybe they don't have it on a public platform like Facebook or Instagram, but they're having the conversations behind closed doors. How do we determine that? You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember some of the things he said, just to give the audio audience who may not know what he's saying?
He talked mainly about darker skinned women. That's one.
Yeah.
You know, I think he mentioned something that about never having kids.
He didn't want nothing darker than him or something.
Yeah,
You're already dark skinned.
Right, and as far as
already black.
Yeah. As far as him having kids with us, black women.
He said nothing a black woman can do for me or something.
Exactly.
But
now, here's the thing. And we understand, a lot of us, that when we talk about this topic, we, on one hand, we talk about the number, like the things that have been done to us in this society, to where we have now internalized the oppressor or the enemy's view of us. We've internalized that, and that's what we call self-hate. Right? We understand that. But then when something like this comes up, we completely disregard that. We disregard that history. We disregard the impact of that history on our psyches. Okay, and that's when I'm like, okay, you guys are being emotional now, because I can never align myself. That's like saying I have an enemy. I have an enemy. You and I have an enemy. You get on my nerve. Now I'm going to align myself with my enemy against you. I can't do that. We have a common enemy.
I didn't see it that way.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't see it that way. I saw it as another opportunity to air our dirty laundry, so we can get to the root of what is ailing us. I think that for us to have just said, "Oh, that don't matter now," you know what I'm saying? Don't push that to the side. Forget what he said. Well, what about all the people that he hurt? What about all the things that he said that was offensive? You know, now we don't have to align ourselves with the enemy to address the things that he said, because there's a lot of people out here who feel like him. Now this brother is gone.
Yes, and he can't speak for himself. He can't defend himself. Right.
May God rest his soul, and he does not deserve to be
dragged
through the mud for that. But I believe the discussion should still be had. I don't think we should try to pretend like this is not a severe issue that affects our community, and people are hurt by those type of things. A conversation
should be had. Of course, colorism is an issue in our community, a major, and these are conversations that will continue to be had. It's how we have these conversations that I have the issue with. That's the main thing. We're on a public platform. We have people saying things like, "That's his karma."
Yeah, so
that's a problem for me. So you're saying like, his karma will use our common enemy to and so it's like, yeah, hooray, the enemy knocked one off for us, did us a favor, and that is the rhetoric that's going. I saw a lot of that. I saw a lot of that.
I definitely don't condone.
Yeah, no, and
like
so that's where I'm coming from. Where I'm like, my thing is, where do we draw the line? It's a slippery slope, because you know what you just said. Yes, the conversation needs to be had, but here's the thing: Bill Cosby thing just came up. Okay. Where do we draw the line? Because there are some questionable things that Bill Cosby said about black people. But black people are, and he has, I think he's done some touching that he should not have been doing. I personally believe that. But some people are still having his back. There's a sister whose video went viral. And I think she even talked about the Stephon Clark thing as well. However, she's saying, F these HOES.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So
another slippery slope.
There you go. But then Stephon Clark, we need to not even have an uproar for him. But Bill Cosby, that's what I'm saying. We gotta be careful with that. Because to me it's questioning, okay, what is the criteria? We have to first see how black this person was. You know how many people you probably marched for that were pedophiles? You know how many people you probably marched for that didn't like black women that much?
And then you notice the trend. It seems that it's always the result is black women being abused, whether verbally, whether physically, whether sexually. You know, and some people feel like, well, let's not concern ourselves with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This person here is being lynched. So that's my point. My point is, when do we really have the serious discussion? Well, hold on, pause a minute. The situations are affecting a vast majority of our community. You know, I'm a black woman.
Absolutely.
So
why can't we do both?
Right. Right.
Why can't we have the conversation and address it?
Point.
But that's most black women. A lot of black women feel that way. It's like, why is it that when it comes to issues that concern the woman in this community,
right,
we are told to wait.
Right.
We're going to get to that eventually. Wait.
Right. But when?
And women continue to be abused and our girls continue to be molested and raped and just, pushed aside and, treated like second-class citizens.
The story
while we wait.
Martin Luther King comes to mind, where he went and who was it? Lyndon Johnson that was president at that time, where he would go into and push for him to pass all these laws to help the civil rights movement, and he would always tell him, this is not the time. Wait, and he was like, no, I'm not waiting. No, that's when is going to be the time? People are suffering here. So that's my whole point. It's like the discussion should be had.
It should be had.
What's going on?
It should be had.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
But I agree with you as well.
Well, good point.
Yeah.
Glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
because that was a hot topic that kind of just went washed over, because here we are with more hot topics.
And we need to be able to have those type of conversations without allowing them to divide us.
Yes.
That's the challenge, I think. Because we already have this gender tension in our community, and then when things like this come up, it's like the gap becomes wider. Like the divide becomes wider, and I think we have to figure out a way to have the conversation in a healthy way, to where we still leave loving each other and still caring about each other and still saying, we're still concerned about each other as black women and black men, period.
I think listening to each other more, and that's what we don't do. We take a side, we take a position, just like it's like almost like a football game. We take a side on the field, and this is my side, and I'm defending this side, and I don't care what you got to say about it. In opposition, you my enemy at this point, because you don't agree with what I say.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah,
that's a big,
and
we write each other off very quickly.
And we get to a point we will hate each other for having opposing views. I'm like, good God.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people out here you're gonna hate if you know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure, and I'm not sure. I think I have an idea, because we're considered, especially in this society, we're a minority, and I think that the pressure to have uniformity amongst ourselves because we're a minority is huge. So the minute it's almost like we feel like we can't afford to disagree so much, but we're individuals too, trying to do this collectively, you know what I mean?
Not a monolith.
We're not a monolith, exactly.
It's the Bill Cosby scenario. I think that was a bit divisive. I've seen people taking sides and positions on that, and but we get so much vitriol behind it. It's so aggressive. People saying things and to hurt the other, because they have a different view about it. And so, but yeah, Bill, I'm sure you guys, unless you're under a rock, you heard that Bill Cosby was charged 3 counts of sexual misconduct. And but what I found interesting about that case was, I think only one story stuck. But it was, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I was just kind of doing some perusing with this research, and I don't know the thorough, aspect of all of what the case entailed, but from my understanding, only one story out of all the women who accused him stuck. And this story was one woman who they had settled the case with her
in the past,
like 10 years ago or something like that, but they brought it back
up. So that's
up.
The one from 10 years ago, okay.
Yeah, now I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I hope somebody, if I am, definitely share it with me. But yeah, it was one of the women that he had some dealings with, and he settled out of court for. And but what do you think? What's your thoughts
around
on
Bill Cosby?
The whole scenario?
I think Bill Cosby, a lot of the stuff that he's been accused of, I think we have to put a lot of things into context. It's not saying that it's okay. The time that they were living in, for one, I think that we have to put that into context. It doesn't make it okay.
Right.
you know, but
Right.
for him to even feel that he wasn't doing anything wrong, like people were drugging up and having sex, like
yeah. You in hotel rooms with other women,
right?
As a married man.
He's a cheat, we know that, but I think that he has done some of those things that he's being accused of.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think the reason why is because all of the cases are talking about, it seemed like he had an MO, like drug. He drugged the person and
he even admitted that on stage.
Yes, he did. That's what.
One of his comedy sets.
Yeah,
he admitted it himself.
I think our people. This thing is so layered around him, though, right? So one of the layers, I think, we are starstruck. Okay, we take the position of, I've been a fan of this individual for so long, and therefore I know them. No, you don't. And I think we really need to think about that.
That's a good point.
You know, Huxtable and Cosby are two different people.
Yeah.
That's a character, that's a role. And I think a lot of us, because that was one of the positive examples of a black family on television.
Yeah.
Most of us grew up watching it.
Right.
You know, and appreciated it. And when we talk about shows, you always talk about you know. But I think we get stuck with Huxtable.
Well, a lot of what I've been hearing through the airwaves is that he was set up. It was a witch hunt. You know.
That's the other layer.
Well, you gotta ask. It's like, out of all these different men who've been accused of sexual abuse and misconduct and all that, out of all these high priority or whatever you want to call them in the media, why is he the only one to actually be charged with a crime? As you get fired here, you get reprimanded there. You know, you know, but why is he, out of all these men, the only one to actually be charged?
It's almost like he was used to set an example, like
right.
Yeah, as an example. I get that part, and I think, and that's the other layer I was talking about. I think it's like the OJ thing to me, right? Because I think black people are so tired of being on the losing end. Yeah. That.
Yeah.
When we could if we could possibly get a W, we could care less if they're guilty. It's like the W matters more than their guilt.
And that's the danger
to us. That's dangerous.
Of where we find ourselves today.
Yes.
Where we find ourselves.
Yes, that's dangerous, because what I won't do, and because there are a lot of black people that push the race first. Period.
Yeah.
I cannot subscribe to that, because that race first mentality where you're just going to be innocent because you're black, I'm going to have your back, is what's going to set my son up to be violated. And your daughter and your niece, and you know what I mean? Because we're not holding people accountable.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
If we already have a problem with that in our community.
Yeah.
Now, Cosby is a celebrity, you know, so it's a little different. I do feel like some people are talking about his age.
Yeah.
I could care less.
Yeah.
If you did something wrong, you pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when the lady and I was telling you this, when the lady around the Emmett Till thing came forward and said that she lied, oh please, we wanted her dragged in the streets. No doubt. She was an old lady.
No doubt. And I think that's the danger, and that's the results of living in an oppressive state. Of course. It's an oppressive state because we're always on the defense. And it's tiring. And we don't even have the energy to sort through the facts. Right. We just don't. And because we don't not care. Another one. It's not another one. We don't care. It's like, nope. He could be guilty, but he's not guilty in our eyes, because how many of ours are you guys going to take out? Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. Yeah. You know. But I do personally feel around the celebrity thing, and which we're going to talk about Kanye as well, I know. And even Nas, this thing came out with Khalees. I heard about that. Right, Khalees saying that she was physically abused. But then when I listened to her interview, she said, we fought. Yeah. Which means I popped in. And the guy asked her too. He was like, now, is this him hitting you, or is this y'all? She said, we fought. Rubbing.
Yeah.
Right.
Which mean I popped him, he popped me back, and we fought.
Yeah.
Right? She wasn't like on there in full victim mode. Like,
right.
He knocked my teeth out. You know, she was like, no, we fought. Right. Meaning that he did hit me.
Right.
But I also hit him.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, but people who, again, who are fans of these people, they come to their defense very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
without knowing the full story.
Without knowing the full story.
Without knowing them at all.
Yeah. No, so
really?
my question is, Weinstein,
mm-hmm.
right? When he was accused, is it us that's like this, or because I don't remember too many people coming to his defense?
Good point. Yeah. That goes into
so it's a reflection of the condition that we're in.
Yeah.
In this, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I don't care about what them other, women got to deal with,
Obama, President Obama, that was the issue too, where he's like, that's my president. When you ask, what has he done?
Oh, yeah.
So in other words, I think we get so caught up in, this is a good one. This is one of the good Negroes. You guys are not getting him. I don't care what he did. You're not getting this one. And that's what happened with O.J. Simpson too. It's sad actually. We're laughing, but it's really sad because it is very dangerous. It's very dangerous.
It's the oppression, and it's the effects of other people deciding your fate on your behalf. It's like we're in a system where people who don't have our best interests at heart is deciding our fate. So it's like we're not handling Bill Cosby in our own community the way we would if we was running things. It may not even be a issue this severe, because anyway, that's a whole nother topic. Anyway, I ain't gonna go there. I mean, just culturally. Culturally, when you're in Bill Cosby's celebrity, a Hollywood celebrity, you out there, you know what I'm saying? You drugging people, you doing all this wild. Good God, I've heard the Hollywood stories.
Okay.
So it's like, if we had our own Hollywood, would the culture be
I see what you're saying.
As diseased as it is currently? So anyway.
But I feel like Bill Cosby's I was looking at the woman that accused of Bill Cosby. I think he's color struck too.
Yeah.
I was looking at them
My
like
had mentioned that online. They like all the women were either European or very close to it.
I was looking at that
colorism thing.
Yeah, and then I looked at even like Stefan Clark when they were talking when I was looking at the stuff that he said and what he wrote. Again, this might be the psychology side of me that kicks in, and I'm just like, these things don't fall out the sky. Who hurt you? What black woman damaged you?
That's right.
To that degree, but we don't want to talk about that. We want to act like Stefan Clark is this isolate. No, there are a lot of black men out there that feels like Stefan Clark, and it's not separate from our community. It is very much connected to our community because these men are damaged by women that look like you and I. I'm talking aunties and grandmas and stuff. It's a real thing.
It's real. All you gotta do is turn the TV on, and see how real this whole colorism thing is.
It's who hurt you. I always go back to the story of one of my friends that she's a darker complexion, and I remember her saying, "Oh, I don't do," we said do. I don't do light-skinned guys. And then just in having a conversation, found out that it's not that she don't do light-skinned guys. What she's been doing is avoiding rejection, because back in the 6th grade, she had a little light-skinned boyfriend, and the little light-skinned boyfriend's cousin came and said, "She can't be your girlfriend. She's too dark." And she never forgot that. And so from that time forward, she avoided men of lighter complexion. It's not them. It's fear of rejection, ever feeling that way again. So when I see things like Stefan Clark, like where they talk about black women to that degree, some black woman somewhere in your life dropped the ball. Because a man that has respect for his mother and his grandmother and aunt do not talk like that about black women.
Well, what about the choices though, where even if they had a beautiful upbringing but they still choose?
How common is that, Al-Qamar?
Women that are men and women that are, that don't look like their mamas.
That's my question. How common is that? I feel like those are the exceptions. I think the rule usually is if you do the research or we can't talk to him because he's not here. Mm-hmm. But if you talk to those people, if they're ready to open up, they talk about it. It don't have to be his mother. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let's not act like he just woke up one morning and just was like,
you know what? I can't stand dark-skinned women.
Not as hard as he was going.
Yeah,
he was going really hard. Like he's hurt. That's from a place of hurt.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Does the Facebook family have anything they wanted to share on the stream? Okay, all right. Well, we've been on Bill Cosby, Kanye West.
What about Kanye? you could start with Kanye.
Oh, Kanye. He's so controversial.
Come home, brother. Come home.
He's so controversial. But I'm going to say this, and I know I'm taking a position that is not a popular one when I say this, but when I saw the clip, and I've only saw the clip, and
the TMZ one?
Yeah. Okay. And I normally don't like to really talk about scenarios unless I've seen the full-fledged whatever, because it's just a clip.
Yeah.
But based on what he said in that clip, I understood where he was going with that.
Where was he going?
When he said that slavery, that 400
is a choice.
Yeah, but with the way he said it, he was like, you mean to tell we stayed in it for that long? I mean, I think about people like Nat Turner.
Okay.
Harriet Tubman.
Different rebellions.
Slavery, they had a choice. They chose to fight. Just like other people chose not to fight. So that's what I got out of the comment when he was like, it's a choice. So I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you choose to remain in shackles or you
die.
Choose to fight or you choose to die. But
some
everything
people
in life
chose to die.
Everything in life, we have a choice.
I think
everything.
I think what's problematic is exactly what you said. What's problematic with what he said is exactly what you're saying, which is it felt like he stepped on that history of
I get
those
that.
That's what that felt like for some people. But I totally hear what you're saying as well. But I think a part of it is like, have you forgotten that? Forget about the rebellions that took place on land. Let's talk about the ones that happened on the continent. Let's talk about the ones that happened. There's a whole movie, Amistad, that happened on the boats.
And they chose not to be slaves.
So can we acknowledge the fact that no, because his thing was it's so many of us and so little of them.
Right. That's my point. That's why I knew that's where he was going. He like, why didn't we just get up and kill them all? And I can hear the analytical people. Are you kidding me? We would all die.
No.
But the bottom line is that was a choice.
Here's the thing. If most of us are honest, especially if you're someone that reads history, because I have read some of the history of where I'm from, which would be the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I know my ancestors in the islands was freed, probably emancipated about 10 to 20 years before our ancestors here was, because they had their own rebellions, they fought. However, there's some of that history where I've sat and thought to myself, because they give you the ratio of blacks to whites. And I'm like, what? Some of us, if we're honest, have asked that same question.
No doubt.
Like, what?
No doubt.
You're talking...
But I think
15 to 2?
Right.
I'm going to need y'all to just take 2 out. Even if 5 die in the process, we still got 10 left.
That's
like
right.
that was my mindset. So some people are even saying that, like, come on, some of us have asked that too.
Yeah, and I think what we do is we bully each other. Because like if some, oh my God, it's an uproar. I can't believe he said that.
Yeah.
And then, and if you say, well, hold on, you the oddball out now, so you're going to jump on, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. But I'm looking at what he said and I'm like, I don't see what was so. Now I may have not have said it in the exact same words that he chose, but Kanye speaks his mind a lot of times without thinking first. And I know he had remorse because I watched his body language and how he sat and listened intently to that brother who checked him
At TMZ,
At-
right.
yeah, and check, and he came to a part. He came on. I think he was coming to get a hug from him or something. So I know he felt remorse about what he said.
See, but you see how we're having the conversation. Like, say Kanye said that. Then the conversation then could be, okay, so what about all of these people? Are you just dismissing these people who did rebel, who chose death over slavery?
Right.
Like, are you just and allow him to answer that,
express
because that's
what he meant.
exactly
He really
because
meant,
exactly
instead
because I
of-
don't think he's. I mean, this is a guy whose mom was a professor.
right.
You know, like he's not a
Exactly.
stupid kid. Like,
Right.
you know,
Right.
But I'm not saying that professors have all smart kids. I'm just he's an artistic genius though, as
Yeah.
far as his music and you know.
and his the way he thinks and articulate, and even the way he articulates his thoughts are different than the average Joe.
So is there no space is there no room or safe space in our community for critical thinking, forward thinking, like because as soon as and you know who's going to do
We
it?
get
My
emotional.
son, my son and his crew, the ones coming after him. Yeah, we're gonna have a problem because that generation,
Yeah,
no,
they ain't having it.
they're not having it.
They ain't having it. Yeah,
They're not having it unless you are sitting down and you are programming them.
right.
Which I don't necessarily believe in. But if
Right.
you sit these kids down and you have conversations with them and you listen to their thoughts, they're not having it. They're
Right.
going to challenge
Right.
the way that, and you have some of
And
them in
they
their 20s, but you have some in their 20s now.
And they should.
That's challenging the conscious community.
Right,
This has not been working for us.
Right.
We need to move on from it.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, we have an issue with that though, because
Yeah.
now we just want to isolate these people.
Right.
I don't think we should do that to Kanye. I think we should have, which he already did. He actually provoked discussions because we're having it all over now.
That's my
You know, and there are people who are coming forward and saying, "Yeah, I've thought like that before too, like 400 years." And in most cases, our ancestors outnumbered them. Now, of course, we know the psychological effect because a
course.
lot of there's a difference between a Kunta Kinte who was born on the motherland and brought here, and someone born into slavery.
Third generation.
Thank you. There's a big difference.
There is a big difference, and that's what we're having today. Because
Yes.
my point was, it's still slavery going on today.
Yeah, you born a
People-
slave. That's who you are.
Right.
That's how it's supposed to be. That is your fate.
Right.
Versus someone who was dragged, and I would dare say a lot of our ancestors who came and came over and was fighting. They knew that they shouldn't be enslaved.
Right.
I think a lot of them died.
Right.
Fighting. We don't
Right.
hear about those stories.
Right.
Because we don't know them.
That's my
But I
point.
think you go 3 generations forward, and these are people who are born
Yes.
into slavery. It looks
Yes.
completely different.
And I think in a lot of instances you don't realize and recognize that you have a choice
Mm-hmm.
because you are so ingrained
Yeah.
in that mental.
You're born a slave.
Right. Yeah. And so and I can see where that will take offense to a lot of people when Kanye would say something like that, is because like they don't see that there is a choice. Well, everything you do in life you have a choice with. Everything. And why is slavery off the table?
You could choose that, and some people
You could
just
choose death. Yeah. And some people have.
did. Yes, some people did.
have.
I agree.
Nat Turner chose to take up arms and fight. Harriet Tubman chose to escape, and she chose to come back and get others. Other people chose to sit on a plantation and work.
And
They could have went with Harriet. They could have ran away. They could have fought back, but they chose not to. So, I don't see where what he said was so inaccurate.
But I think before that came up with him saying those things, we already had heard the issue around him aligning himself with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And this blew me, okay? This is what confuses me with, and I love our people, God knows. I mean, the way that they dragged Kanye on Twitter, I was seeing some of the tweets with wicked jokes about, slave. Am I going to do slavery today? No, I think I'll call in sick. Like, since slavery is a choice,
Right.
they dragged him. However, it's very interesting how our community can get offended by this. But all of his misogynistic lyrics, this is the woman piece we're talking about now.
Yeah. Go there.
okay?
Go there.
Where it's demeaning towards us as black women. We don't write, but the minute he says something about slavery, or even look like he's aligning himself with oh my God, that's the sin of all sins. You cannot do that. But he can disrespect us.
We compartmentalize. We're
selective. But this is where it comes down to us as women. Don't treat us like second-class citizens. We matter too.
Yeah.
And it should hold the same weight. Him being misogynistic towards us and demeaning and disgusting in his lyrical content towards us, it holds as much weight as him saying slavery was a choice. Why doesn't
wear the hat that make America great again?
Yeah, when he wear the MAGA hat. But anyway, I know.
Anyway, so let's go into real briefly some of our promos, the things we do here at Everlasting Life. 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Coming up this Saturday, you guys don't want to miss this. In the house, we're going to have the Minister of Wellness here, live and direct, taking center stage at our Black Wall Street Renaissance. That's this Saturday, May the 5th, from 12 to 6 p.m. Come and shop with local vendors. We got a lot of nice vendors coming out, new vendors too. So come shop with them. And then at 2 p.m., Nathaniel Jordan, also known as the Minister of Wellness, takes stage, and he's going to be talking to us about genocide by diet. How the eat meat for protein myth is keeping us fat and sick. This is a powerful brother. You guys want to hear his voice. It is he tell you things that you've never even considered before. And he lost over 100 pounds, kept it off for 5 years, not by dieting. So you want to come get the information, family, that can potentially save your life. Thursdays, children eat free right here at Everlasting Life. Register on our Eventbrite page, which is ELife Children's Night.eventbrite.com. Again, that's Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. All children 12 and under are welcome to join us here. Dinner and a movie each and every Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. This is free. We air a new documentary or movie, and we discuss what we've seen right after. This Friday we'll be airing Ma'afa 21. Real happy. Ma'afa 21. So come on out and join us for that.
Good stuff.
Marketplace, third Saturdays of every month from 11 to 4 p.m. If you're in the market for fresh produce or natural herbs, healing supplements, and vegan groceries, come join us right here at the Marketplace. Again, that's Everlasting Life at 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Broadcasting call out here at ELife Studios. We're looking for folks who are interested in hosting their own show, or you have capabilities as an engineer. Come join us here at ELife Studios. We're looking for people like you. So you can find us on the web under elifestudios.com. Everlasting Life is one of 3 locations. The other 2, one is Vigoritos, the other is Evolve Restaurant and Lounge. They both are located within the Tacoma Park section of Washington, D.C. Same great tasting food. So if you're not in this area, then definitely check out one of the other 2 locations. All right? All right, back at you. Hopping back into the hot topics. We're talking about hot topics today, family, on the Empower Hour. Join us if you this is your first time watching us. Follow us on our Facebook page, the Empower Hour Talk Show, or we do have a YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that as well. Hanifah.
Yes, I actually have one more thing to say. I know we want to move on from Kanye because but I was looking at, he did a thing, they call it Ye versus the People with T.I. It's like a collab, like it's a rap song. Okay. So they're going back and forth. Yeah. Him and the artist T.I. And in the song, what's his name? Kanye says, "I know Obama was heaven sent, but ever since Trump won, it proves I could be president. Make America Great Again had a negative reception. I took it, wore it, rocked it, gave it a new direction. That's how he feels. And then, so when I was looking at that, when I got that part where he says, "Make America Great Again," had a negative reception. I took it, wore it, rocked it, gave it a new direction. Immediately, what came to my mind is like, isn't this what some of our people are trying to do with the N-word?
Come on with that. Yeah.
Immediately my mind went there.
Good point.
Because I'm like, what's the difference?
That's my point. We compartmentalize. We chastise other people for doing the same things we do ourselves.
Yeah, because I'm like, they're saying, he's thinking that he can take it and make it mean something else.
He did the same thing with the
Confederate flag. Yes, with fashion.
And the swastika. He had the swastika too. He did the same thing.
Yes, he incorporated into his fashion, and it's like he was trying to make it like a fashion statement. I'm like,
right.
No. But I'm like, see, we got in an uproar about that. Okay, let's talk to our hip-hop community about the N-word then, because that's pretty much the argument. Is that it don't hold the same weight anymore. But that's what Kanye is saying here too.
That's my thing. I think when anybody who is an individual like Kanye, it's uncomfortable for us because he has his own way of thinking and his own way of acting out. You know what I'm saying? And it makes us uncomfortable because he goes against the grain.
But I also think I agree with you with the conversations that need to be had. I think a lot of us run from these conversations because what happens is that it peels back the mask and it exposes our hypocrisy in a lot of ways. And sometimes we're not ready to address it because here's the thing. And we are oppressed people. Right? But I feel like the victimhood that's involved in that oppression, some of us thrive on that. So in other words, if the dynamics were to be changed tomorrow, we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves.
Yeah, because a lot of us get comfortable with just pointing out the problems.
Yeah,
or it's me.
Right, it's not me. It's because of them. It's because of them. So like,
in the meantime, nothing is getting solved.
Right. What if we remove? You have to ask yourself, if you didn't have anyone to point the finger at tomorrow, what would your life look like?
Like the brother had mentioned one time on my page recently, he said there would be no white supremacy if it wasn't for black people. It's like something to consider.
That sounds like a Kanye statement.
You had a question or a comment?
A comment. Miss Natasha A. Perry is saying she's loving the chat.
Yes, thank you, Natasha.
We appreciate that. But yeah, I think we're afraid of stepping outside of the group thought or the group concept of what people feel and how people think.
Because no one wants to be the minority in the minority. That's messed up. Who wants to do that? We're already a minority now. You gonna be a minority within the minority? Nobody wants to do that. So it takes people like Kanye who just speaks their mind. And some people, what do you think about the mental health piece? Do you think that that's like a legit thing that he possibly could be having some mental health?
I clearly think. I'm watching that interview with Charlamagne. I was like, I was like,
he has these outbursts.
It's hard to, but he's a genius in his own right. And he really is. But it was hard to follow his thought. Because for me, he was all over the place. And so I don't know what that got.
Which brings us into the what do you call it? The Starbucks. Boycotts. That's what the word I'm looking for.
The boycott.
Yeah. So I think a lot of that is even groupthink as well. Me personally, that's how I feel.
I agree. I agree.
I am for us standing up for our rights and standing against injustices done that are done to black bodies in this society. I'm for that. What I'm not for is us treating black businesses like the rebound. Now, black businesses may say, more for me. But is it really more for you? Because someone can erect another Starbucks called by a different name. And they will give them their business because it's not Starbucks. It's just Bucks. So it's not Starbucks I'm supporting. I'm just supporting Bucks, and Bucks haven't done anything to us yet.
Good point. Break that down. I love it.
Bucks haven't done anything to us yet. So right now we're gonna go over here by Louise because another Starbucks called by another name will be erected. That's corporation. That's what they do.
Yep.
Okay. So then now my thing is we have to get to a place where we love ourselves, man.
Enough to say, you know what, I want to put my money in my own
your community. That should be your plan A.
To help build me and my own people up. And that should be the first priority.
Exactly.
And not, you're not doing me good, so now I'm going to go back to my community.
But you know what I thought about?
For a little while.
For a little while, until they give me something else. You know what I thought about? Integration. I thought about integration and how integration really showed us how much we hate ourselves. Because that was when the direction as far as black businesses being closed down, and because we were now integrated, and guess who we're supporting? Because we've been told all our lives white was better.
Yeah.
White ice was colder, right?
Right.
And so now we're integrated. Yes. We get to go to school with them. We get to shop where they shop. We get to sit in the same movie theaters. Yes, we feel like people now. And we fought to rub shoulders with them.
Yep.
So integration exposed the level of self-hate that we had for each other. And we're still dealing with it now.
We're looking for justification.
We're looking for validation.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're looking for other people to validate date us, and that's why we go back. And I'm like, why would you want to go to a place where nobody wants to eat? Furthermore, to eat, and they don't want you there, but you're gonna go there anyway? Good God, to eat? Oh no, I don't know what you're doing to my food back there. And furthermore, I'm not giving you my hard-earned money, and you don't care if I live or die. Don't want to give me good service. Don't even want to see me there.
Right.
No. I'm gone. You ain't got to tell me twice. As a matter of fact, I ain't coming to begin with. But we do. We go back and we put up the picket signs. And
in those instances, what are we asking for? What are we asking for? To be accepted?
What else is it? We
have the power to create, though. We don't have to beg.
Yeah.
We don't have to take a begging posture every single time.
Yeah.
We have so much intelligence and brilliance. We just talked about Kanye.
That's right.
In our community, and creativity.
We don't believe it though. We don't believe, because if we believed it, we wouldn't do the things we do. We just wouldn't. We would be somewhere different totally mentally, and we would be too busy doing what every other nation of people do. They build their own. I said, when the last time you seen an Asian person out in front of an Italian restaurant saying, "Shame, let me in, let me," what I'm saying? They're not doing that because they have their own. They're building their own.
Many of those, how many of their beauty supply stores people have been boycotting because they're dragging our sisters by their hair.
And we still go back.
And some people would say, oh, well, they were stealing. You don't have the right to drag me throughout your store. Call the police.
That's it. Yeah. And we're the only ones getting dragged, by the way. And we're not the only ones that steal.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but no, that's just my point on the whole boycotts. I just, hope that, we someday soon get to a point where, the vast majority of us can really stop and see that we don't need to be there.
Right.
We don't need this stuff. We can do our own.
Right.
And be proud of going somewhere and feel more comfortable where we are and help. I don't think we really understand the benefits that come back to us when we support our own communities and our own black businesses. I don't think we understand that we actually building ourselves up in the process. So me and you, if it will benefit, you know what I'm saying? Not just that business owner, but everybody in the community. And I don't think we understand that, because right now we're empowering the people who hate us the most.
And
with our money.
To even touch on the slippery slope piece, when I watched the interview with these two black brothers with the Starbucks incident, they clearly look like they were somebody already cut them a check somewhere. I was listening to
it was real like
it's not about race.
Yeah, that's another one we quick to jump.
Oh, so then let's not boycott for them. Because they're not really black if they can't see this is about race. Wait, that's the slippery slope I'm talking. How do we determine? You know, these brothers are probably looking like, look, I got bills to pay. You know, they violated me and I'm about to get a check. I ain't thinking about the collective.
I ain't ruffling no.
They're probably looking like, well, we about to get this check so we can help the collective. That might be their argument.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
But what was the other topic I had? I had one more.
Okay, well, while you look
go ahead.
I'm just going to mention that there's a new lynching memorial that just opened in Montgomery, Alabama. So I'm curious to see that one.
I don't want to go see that. I saw it. I was like, why y'all excited about that?
Now, I want to take my children and grandchildren.
Why?
Because we quick to forget our past.
to keep
it prevalent on their mind as to what we dealing with.
It's in Alabama?
It's in Montgomery, Alabama.
Have you been to the African American Museum?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
I haven't been yet.
Just by default because I haven't,
I just haven't been yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
I intend to go, but I haven't been as yet.
Right.
Because I was going to ask you if they have any memorial, like within there that show something similar, whatever.
And another reason why I think that this memorial I think is important is because, these people to this day attempts to rewrite history.
True.
And try to erase from history all the bad.
They tried to call our ancestors indentured servants, change that in the books. Yes.
Yeah. So to keep alive those who suffered the greatest and the most severe of our ancestors, I think is important. It's the same reason why they got a Holocaust museum. Downtown. So I definitely want to. If they said that they have a tribute to over 4,000 people were lynched between 1877 and 1950, and that's only the ones that were recorded. So there was even more, but those are the names that they have.
Of course.
So, but I just thought
I saw some pictures of it.
Really?
Yeah. Some people you're talking about the ones that look like metal statues and they have the chains around them. You didn't see the pictures?
No.
Oh, I saw some pictures of
I think they said it was plates or something, but I don't know.
No. I've seen some. It almost looked like it has this rustic thing going on, like it's a little rusty. Yeah, I've seen them.
Okay.
And they have, each person is like in a circle and they have the chains around their necks.
Okay.
I don't know. I was kind of on the fence about it because how some people say, why do we need to make another slave movie? I think my mind quickly went there for a quick second. Then I came back to reality because I agree with you. We have to, because listen, the way that your black children need to know why they looked at the way they looked at in this country.
Right.
They need to understand that. They need to understand the history of the country.
Right.
And then you also need to know where I come from so I can know where I'm going.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. Good point.
We have a question.
Okay.
So Freedom Cookstraw, he said, what mainstream artist leaves the corporate-controlled hip-hop plantations and slave masters that Kanye and others stay on? Only independent artists are free. Kanye just talking.
That's a good point. Somebody else mentioned that. He was like, he talking about being free, but is he really?
But that's why I think Kanye can talk the way he talk about as far as Trump. We have to put Kanye them in the category of elites. We do.
Yeah.
Black elites.
Yeah.
And we talk about this to the black bourgeois. What you call it?
Bourgeoisie.
There's books about that where they've always kind of been a threat to the movement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To revolution.
The buffers.
Yes, because they benefit from the system.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So yes, I agree, Freedom.
Point.
He falls in that category.
Yeah.
Right?
But that doesn't excellent point.
Right. But it doesn't change the fact of him deciding to think outside. Now, do I think Kanye West is an attention whore? Yes.
Yeah.
So is the family he's married into.
Yeah. But I also believe too that he I think Kanye is a conscious brother. if you look at a lot of his earlier work,
Yes.
he
Okay.
really he understands what's going on behind the curtains, so to speak. And I think when you have that type of information and understanding, and you still choose to go the route Kanye chose, something happens to you. You definitely, it affects you, because you can't be like someone just completely totally ignorant of all the facts. Like, what's the little young brother that said, "I'm glad slavery took place"? The little rapper dude. "I'm glad slavery took place. I wouldn't have all I got if it wasn't for,
We could call him
ignorant.
We're just gonna call him him. Yeah,
right,
him.
Right. He just straight ignorant. But Kanye understands on a level that, you know what I'm saying, that's conscious.
But I think people like Kanye and Ben Carson, the problem, what makes things that they say and themselves problematic is when people say, we had a conversation about this on colorism when you guys did the panel, and I remember a sister here saying, no, she's a lighter sister. She could not receive it, because you know what we need to be careful of? We need to be careful of, that wasn't my experience, and therefore it didn't happen.
I don't have, yeah. Right.
We got to be very careful of that.
Right.
Because we do that a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't my experience, so therefore it did not happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like me coming from the small island of St. Thomas, 32 square miles, where all my politicians look like me, and coming to the mainland and saying, y'all just need to pull up your bootstrap. That's a failure on my part to understand the history of the country I am now walking into. And even understand the history of the country who has us as a territory.
And I think that's what the brother who checked Kanye's point was to him.
Yeah.
What you just described.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
When he was like, you have a responsibility. You can't be out there just shooting off at the mouth saying things that's offensive like that, because you're not out here struggling and strifing and then making ends meet. I get that.
Yeah, that's when the exceptions to the rule start to think that they are the rule. Yeah. No, you are the exception to the rule.
That's right.
And there are people out there that are going, that's what the guy was saying, that are going through real life struggles, just walking out of their house is a problem. Yeah. And here you are with your elitist attitude. Yeah. So yes, I agree. We got to be careful with that, because we do it a lot. Yeah. Not because it's not your experience means that.
Yeah. And to Freedom's point, I heard Minister Farrakhan quote one day say, black people in this country are the richest slaves on earth.
Wow.
I found that a very deep comment. Yeah. So it's like, to his point, is he really free? Is Kanye really free? Or versus somebody who's under, that don't have a contract?
Because the idea,
no, you know what I'm saying? No authority of somebody else telling them what to do, how to kick it out, how much you're going to get paid. Because we
have the idea that freedom is connected to money, to finances. Right. And there are people who are homeless that are more free than people making six figures. I'm just saying,
who can't even speak what they really feel, because they so worried about losing something. Are you really free?
And someone, I can't remember who spoke on that. It was one of the female celebrities talked about that, the freedom that you give up once you become a celebrity. Because everyone feels that they have rights to you. Yeah. There's a level of imprisonment that happens that comes with that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Well, we are running out of time. I just wanted to mention. I mentioned a memorial. You had something?
No. I'm good. You wanted to talk about the Harriet Tubman?
Yeah, on a lighter note, the Harriet Tubman trek. I don't know if y'all heard about that, but all these young sisters, I was saying to myself, I would have loved to have done that. Yeah. They actually walked the trail that Harriet Tubman did when she was freeing slaves. So they walked, I believe it was from Maryland to Canada. Don't get me wrong. I think it was. I think they trekked the Harriet Tubman on feet. It took them 5 days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Are they going to continue to do this? Or? So that could be a movement. Like, I mean, are they gonna? That could be like they could make that
that's what I said, it
something
was such a
that they
good
can do
idea.
annually.
And it was a tribute to Harriet Tubman.
Yeah, that's something they can do annually.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was like, oh, I would have loved to do that. And I
That would
looked
be
at the
pretty
picture of
awesome.
all of them. They were young and looked fit, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just cheer on.
Oh my, come on. I'm sure they took breaks in between. Camped out. They had a good meal. Come on, come
Can I
on.
get a scooter? at
And
least?
remain hydrated.
Can I get a scooter?
Can I have a
Shout
scooter?
out to the yes.
Can I ride in the back of your scooter?
Halfway.
No, we got 5 more miles to go. Stop.
But kudos to them. I thought that was awesome for
Yeah.
them sisters to even take up
Hopefully
that
something to
mantle.
continue. I'm sure others would join
Yeah,
them.
that was an excellent idea, I thought. So yeah.
Yeah.
So kudos.
Yeah, that's the end.
That's
Our
it.
program. Yeah.
That's our
Hot
Empower
topics.
Hour. Our hot topics. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for chiming in. Share the information, please. If it's anything you've heard that we've talked about that you think other people should hear, definitely share. And again, like us on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook or YouTube. Yeah.
And share the videos.
Share. What we got coming up next week? The young entrepreneurs.
Young entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
I'm super
so
excited
stay
about that
tuned.
program.
Yeah,
Yes.
These young folks are gonna blow your mind.
Yes, they are.
When you sit and listen to what they got going on, I'll be like, am I doing enough?
That
Wow.
energy and that fire, that passion. Yeah.
So stay tuned for that, and let the children watch next week because
Yeah.
it's be good for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. Until next week, we will see you then. Peace.